Hello, mind shifters, curious minds, and conscious alchemists. We decode the mind's hidden patterns, navigate your neural frontiers, and transform your reality. Ready? Let's begin. You're going through your day, interacting with people, dealing with life's chaos. And suddenly, a past memory hits you, a conversation, a tone, a situation, something triggers old pain. It's like a door you thought was locked has swung open, flooding you with emotions you didn't expect to face. Maybe it's the way someone raised their voice at you, a familiar look of disappointment, or even just a scent that takes you back to a moment you thought was forgotten. But why does this happen? Why do past traumas, old wounds, and buried fears rise to the surface just when we think we've moved on? Your brain is designed to protect you. When a past event carries emotional weight, it gets stored in the amygdala, the brain's survival center. Every time a similar situation arises, your nervous system reactivates that memory as if it's happening right now. This is called memory reconsolidation, where past pain rewires your present experience. It's why someone's words can feel like an attack, why certain environments make you anxious, and why you sometimes react more strongly than the situation calls for. Your brain isn't overreacting. It's protecting you from what it thinks is a repeat of past danger. But does this mean we are prisoners of our past? Number. Understanding how trauma works is the first step to breaking free. Let's go deeper. Your past isn't just something you remember. It's something your body and mind relive in cycles. Think of it like an app running in the background, consuming energy without you realizing it. Every interaction, every stressful moment, every conflict can trigger a hidden script from the past, shaping your response without your conscious awareness. During moments of stress, your brain prioritizes survival mode, scanning past experiences for patterns that might help you navigate the present. The problem? It doesn't differentiate between past and present pain. It treats everything as a potential threat, which is why you might feel overwhelmed even when there's no actual danger. Latest research on trauma and memory reconsolidation. Studies show that when we recall a painful memory, it enters a malleable state, meaning it can either be re-encoded with the same pain or rewritten with new meaning. This means that every time you relive an old wound, you have a choice: reinforce it or transform it. But many people make the mistake of rushing into healing too soon, which often leads to even more emotional overwhelm. Let's talk about why slowing down is key. One of the biggest mistakes in trauma healing is trying to fix everything immediately while emotions are still raw. When we're in crisis mode, our nervous system is overwhelmed, and we lose access to logical thinking. The brain's ability to process trauma shuts down. Your brain has two main processing centers: the prefrontal cortex, rational thinking, and the amygdala, emotional survival. In moments of distress, the amygdala hijacks the brain, making logical processing nearly impossible. That's why simply talking about it isn't always effective. It can actually re-traumatize you instead of heal you. Instead of forcing yourself to relive trauma immediately, focus on stabilization first. This means activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural relaxation response, before diving into deeper emotional work. Techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, and grounding exercises can help create safety in the body. But how does trauma show up in relationships? Let's talk about how old wounds shape how we connect with others. Have you ever noticed how small disagreements in relationships suddenly spiral into massive fights? It's rarely about just this moment. It's about everything that came before. Your brain operates on patterns. If past experiences of betrayal, abandonment, or rejection remain unprocessed, Your mind projects those fears onto current relationships, even if there's no real threat. Instead of reacting to your partner, boss, or friend as if they are your past, ask yourself, 1. What am I really responding to? 2. Is this situation actually dangerous, or does it just feel like my past? 3. How can I communicate from the present instead of from past wounds? And that brings us to one of the most powerful yet overlooked aspects of healing: clear communication. Most people communicate based on assumptions and unspoken expectations, leading to frustration and conflict. The solution? Radical clarity. When you clearly express what you need, the brain shifts from emotional reactivity to cognitive processing, allowing for resolution instead of escalation. How to practice radical clarity. 1. State your needs without blame. 2. Recognize when you're projecting past pain. 3. Shift from "you always" statements to "I feel" statements. But what if the root of your pain is deeper, like unresolved shame? What if I told you that your past memories are not fixed? That the stories you tell yourself about your past can be rewritten, and in doing so, you can change the way they shape your future. Your memories are like a mental map, a guide you unconsciously follow. But if that map is outdated or distorted by past pain, it leads you in circles, making you repeat the same emotional patterns over and over again. Neuroscientists have discovered that every time you recall a memory, it becomes temporarily unstable, a process called memory reconsolidation. In that moment, you have the power to alter the way your brain stores it. This means that pain from the past isn't set in stone. It can be rewritten with new meaning. How to rewire your past in 3 steps. 1. Recall the memory from a detached perspective. Instead of reliving the experience as if it's happening now, step outside of it. Imagine watching it like a scene in a movie. This helps your brain process the memory without being overwhelmed by the emotions tied to it. 2. Reframe it with a new empowering narrative. Ask yourself, what else could this mean? Instead of seeing it as a moment of pain, betrayal, or failure, is there a lesson? Could it have made you stronger, more resilient, or wiser? By shifting the meaning, you change the way the brain stores the memory. 3. Anchor it in the present with a different emotional charge. Your past does not define you. Your present choices do. Visualize that memory fading into the background, while your new, empowered self stands strong in the foreground. Feel the shift. The moment you reclaim the story, you reclaim your power. But healing isn't just about rewriting the past. It's about using that transformation as fuel for your future. And that brings us to the final step, turning past pain into resilience. So what now? You faced the past, understood its impact, and begun the process of rewriting your narrative. But true healing isn't just about letting go, it's about transformation. Think of a diamond. It only becomes what it is through immense pressure. Your pain, your struggles, your setbacks, they're not just wounds. They are the very forces that shape your strength. The science of post-traumatic growth. Research shows that people who consciously work through their trauma can develop what psychologists call post-traumatic growth. Instead of staying stuck in suffering, they emerge with greater personal strength, deeper appreciation for life, stronger relationships and empathy, a new sense of purpose. How to turn your pain into power. One shift from why me to what can I learn. Instead of seeing your past as something that happened to you, start seeing it as something that happened for you. What skills, wisdom, or perspectives has it given you that you wouldn't have otherwise? 2. Channel your experience into purpose. Many of the world's greatest leaders healers and innovators turned their pain into their mission. Whether it's helping others, creating something new, or simply showing up in the world with more awareness, your past can fuel your impact. 3. Embody resilience daily. Resilience isn't a one-time decision, it's a practice. Build habits that remind you of your strength: journaling, meditation, movement, creativity, and most importantly, self-compassion. You are not broken. You are evolving, and your past, no matter how painful, is not your prison. It is the foundation upon which you rise. Healing is not just about processing pain, it's about becoming someone new in the process. But transformation isn't an event, it's a journey. And the biggest challenge? Integrating your growth into daily life. Because here's the truth, you can rewrite your memories, heal old wounds, and shift your mindset. But if you don't change the way you live, your old patterns will pull you back. Your brain is wired for efficiency. It prefers familiar patterns, even if they're painful. That's why, after a breakthrough, many people fall back into old habits. It's not because they didn't heal, it's because they didn't integrate their healing into their identity. How to make healing a way of life. 1. Reprogram. Your daily environment. Your surroundings shape your subconscious mind. If your environment reminds you of old pain, change it. Rearrange your space. Surround yourself with uplifting influences and create reminders of your growth. 2. Embody your future self and now. Instead of waiting to feel healed, act like the person you're becoming. Speak differently. Show up differently. Make choices from the perspective of your healed self, not your wounded past. 3. Build rituals that reinforce your transformation. Growth isn't just about what you stop doing, it's about what you start doing. Daily rituals, whether journaling, movement, creative expression, or conscious reflection, help lock in your new identity. Why integration matters. Many people chase transformation like a destination, but the real magic happens in the way you live every single day. The goal isn't to fix yourself, it's to step fully into the version of you that no longer needs fixing. You didn't just survive your past, you're rewriting your future. And the greatest gift you can give yourself is the commitment to embody your healing, not just talk about it. Comment "I am becoming" if you're ready to integrate your transformation. And if you want deeper tools and guidance, check the link below. Your journey doesn't end here, it's just beginning.